What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so recently, of course, John Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies has been under fire for certain gestures that he has made after making key buckets in games. I don't want to rehash too much, but he had the situation against the Warriors where he made the shotgun gesture toward, I think it was the Warriors bench. Draymond Green snitched on him, obviously. I think it was a game in which Steph had 52. But when you look at the video, though, Buddy Hield was the one. And shout out to the brother Sean, because I saw him post this on that video a while back. The video shows that Buddy Hield was the one who actually initiated it, but the media conveniently ignored that. They're not going to let the truth get in the way of a good black villain narrative. And then I think the very next game, he did the same gesture. I think in the first quarter of the game against Miami Heat, but this time he did the gesture pointing outward. Pointing toward the crowd. And then I think in the next game, I forget who the opponent was, or it might have been the next game that they played, or whatever, or maybe a couple games after. Brought out the grenade taunt, in which he mimicked launching a grenade into the crowd and then putting his fingers in the ears, right? Which in his ears, what I thought was rather creative, right? And at that point, I said, okay, you know what? If he's studying the rule book and seeing how, if you do it toward the crowd, it's not as much of a penalty. It was not looked upon the same. And the creativity made me laugh. I said, okay, well, I've never seen that before. And then I'm starting to look at Ja in these situations now a little differently. Now, at first, what I'm saying, I kind of like, all right, look, even though I know it's stupid and in most situations I wouldn't care, I was like, look, I understand it's not fair. I understand there are people who do it all the time and there's nothing said about it. And I do get the overtones. I get the overtones when it comes to John Morant. But at the same time, I was like, look, the stuff that you had gotten into off the court. You don't want to bring that stuff back to you. You know what I'm saying? These people leaving you alone right now. Plus, they looking for any reason to come at you because people want to blame you for firing Taylor Jenkins, or getting Taylor Jenkins fired, I should say, the head coach. So I was kind of like, all right, John, like, what you doing? But I looked at the overkill. I'm starting to see all of the overreactions to what he's doing. And you got people saying he should be thrown out of the league. I'm like, what are you talking about? You guys sit up there and complain. Well, you know what? Before I go forward, let me just show you what Shaq, Kenny, and Charles had to say about the situation. I guess Ernie too.
You would.
Well, he has a history that maybe
like
he
that
shouldn't be doing.
celebration.
Yeah, maybe just
Hey,
leave the
man.
celebrations with people might die alone.
You know what they're doing because y'all gonna keep talking about it. Pull that pen.
I know one person happy right now.
Who's that?
Taylor Jenkins ain't got to deal with this crap. He's going to get another job that he deserves. And I'm like, I don't have to deal with this immature stuff.
Look, man, Kenny, I can't prove that Kenny has done or did the gun gesture when he played. He probably did. I mean, it was commonplace for a guy to get hot and put the holsters up, or put the gun in the holsters, or pull the 2 6-shooters out and mimic and taunting the team. That was so commonplace. So Kenny, more than likely, if you go through the archives, you can see him doing that, right? Charles, to me, is a super hypocrite in this situation. I know many times Charles Barkley has got a key and one. I've seen him get a putback dunk on people. I've seen him get a fast break, you know, key bucket down the stretch, or a key putback rebound, a rebound and a putback in a key situation, playoff games. You know how many times I've seen Charles Barkley taunt his opponent? And I've seen him do the gun thing multiple times, even into his Houston years. Although I think he did it more often when he was younger. Plus, not to rehash negativity, but Charles, don't forget you're the same dude that spit on a little girl in the stands. So I'm like, y'all. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I like Charles Barkley. I do. I know a lot of people don't like him. I like Charles Barkley. I like him as a player. And while I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says when it comes to our community, obviously, I think he's tone deaf with some things. But having said that, I kind of usually like Charles, but Charles is the last one to be talking about somebody doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or questionable things. I mean, I could just go down the line with some things. You know what I'm saying? Charles Barkley has a very long and sordid history when it comes to doing stupid things. Now, you could argue a lot of those things were off the court, true, but that's the same thing with Ja. And I'm not doing a 180. I know some people are like, wait a minute, weren't you just criticizing him? Well, yeah, when you're aiming it at when you're doing what he was doing, when you're aiming at other players, I get it, it's a taunt. But with all the stuff that he's been going through, I just thought maybe he shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But some of the things he's doing, I kind of dig because number one, like Shaq said, is getting people talking about him. And secondly, controversy is not necessarily a bad thing. Dennis Rodman was very controversial, but Dennis Rodman made a brand for himself, right? Dennis Rodman in 1995 looked like he was on his last legs as being in the league. Uh, he still was productive when he played, but he wasn't a good fit in San Antonio culturally. They didn't like him. When I say they, I mean some of his teammates and the fans. And he was looked upon as older. He was 34? At that time, that was kind of old by NBA standards. But he was able to revitalize himself by going to the Chicago Bulls, and he became nearly as big as Michael Jordan. And he was controversial. But he had his fans. And I think the NBA need to kind of leave Ja Morant alone, man. Leave him the hell alone. As long as he's not getting into any trouble off the court, who gives a fuck if he's doing that to the crowd? Who cares? It's funny. Then again, some people, whatever, man. It's just fun. It's just crazy to me because John Morant can do what he's doing, and it's so horrible, and needs to be kicked out of the league. But I've seen LeBron James, I've seen Luka Doncic, I've seen Draymond Green, right? Joel Embiid, too. Curse the hell out of officials. I mean, swearing, B word, all that. Spittle, flying out the mouth, no suspension. So that's the problem I have with the NBA, man, and Adam Silver in particular, the inconsistency. I mean, wasn't Draymond Green just clotheslining motherfuckers last year? Choking Rudy Gobert and all this stuff. And all he got was 10-game suspension? But y'all talking about kicking John around the league for doing a grenade taunt? What are you talking about? Come on, man. What are we doing here? Critiquing, I mean, saying some stuff about Draw, critiquing him when he was doing some stuff, fine. But now it's just like, come on, like, what are we doing, man? But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. What you guys think?